Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 119 based on novel. So let's start. The Heavenly Fate sect was on the eastern side of planet Tianyun. It was covered by mist. Mist and clouds densely filled the area. Looking from a distance, it was as if the sect was covered by layers of mist, making it impossible to see what was inside. A huge temple was floating in the middle, emitting a gentle, golden light. Under the temple were floating stones that formed steps that led to the mountains below. This was where the outer sect of the Heavenly Fate sect was located. At this moment, rays of sword light were flying back and forth through the Heavenly Fate sect. The sect was very lively. Wang Lin was standing outside the mountain and looked at the giant temple. He took a deep breath and took a step forward. He then turned into a ray of white light and rushed forward. It didn't take long before Wang Lin arrived at a large mountain. Just as he was about to cross the mountain, his expression changed and he stopped and looked into the distance. "Incomer, stop!" A faint voice came from the distance. This voice was very plain without any emotion. It was impossible to tell if it was male or female. Wang Lin's expression became respectful. He clasped his hands and said loudly, "Planet Suzaku's Wang Lin is here to greet Senior Allseer. Wang Lin, the Honorable Allseer already knows of your arrival. However, to enter the Heavenly Fate sect, even honorary disciples must go through 3 trials. Do you dare to accept them?" Wang Lin's expression was very serious. He didn't immediately respond but asked, "What are the 3 trials?" "The first trial is the human trial. This trial tests your Tao heart. The second trial is the earth trial. This trial tests your cultivation. The third trial is the heaven trial. This trial tests your domain. Only by going through these 3 trials can you enter the Heavenly Fate sect. Do you dare?" The voice was still plain without any anger. After the voice finished speaking, tens of thousands of rays of light gathered to form an oval-shaped ring before Wang Lin. Wang Lin faintly smiled and said, "Why would I not dare?" With that, he walked into the oval ring. In the Heavenly Fate sect on top of a tall mountain was a bohi tree. The crown of this tree was very large. It was like an umbrella that could cover the sky. Anyone who looked at it would feel the urge to worship it. At this moment, there were 3 people under this tree. The person in front was an old man. He had a gentle expression and his white hair flowed in the wind. However, he didn't give off a feeling of being old and instead exuded an out-of-this-world feeling. His eyes were even brighter than some young men's at their prime. In particular, his 2 eyebrows were like 2 white dragons on his face that moved gently with the wind. His gaze looked into the distance and showed a hint of age. 2 people were standing respectfully behind him. Both of them looked to be around 30 years old. One of them was smiling and looked very friendly. The other one had a serious expression, his eyes are cold and he stood there emotionlessly. The smiling man looked at the gentle old man and said, "Teacher, this person is only an honorary disciple, why make him go through the 3 trials?" The old man's eyes were like lightning looking into the distance as he slowly said, "I accepted him as a disciple on a whim and planted the karam of teacher and disciple between us. In a mere 100 years, his cultivation has already reached this stage. He is not simple." The gentle-looking man faintly smiled and said, "To catch teacher's attention is his fortune. If he can pass the 3 trials, take him to the Purple Cloud Pavilion." The old man looked at the void again, then he took a step forward and disappeared. The gentle-looking man and the cold-faced man both responded. They lowered their heads in respect until the old man left. The cold-faced man sneered and said, "Purple Cloud Pavilion. Interesting. Junior apprentice brother Ju, what is interesting about it?" The gentle-looking man turned to the man named Ju. "Senior apprentice brother, are you trying to test junior brother? The Purple Cloud Pavilion is not some place an ordinary honorary disciple could stay in. The Purple Sky Palace and my Purple Dream Palace are places that only true disciples of our teacher can stay in. I'm afraid that the Purple Cloud Pavilion will soon be named the Purple Wood Palace. The gentle-looking person smiled and said, "That Wang Lin is not simple, and teacher seems to have really been moved to accept another disciple. We are about to gain other apprentice brother. Isn't that a joyous occasion? Senior apprentice brother, you don't have to say what your heart doesn't think." The man named Ju snorted and left. At this moment, only the gentle-looking man was left. His eyes were calm and contained a look as if he couldn't completely figure something out. He whispered to himself, "The Purple Cloud Pavilion. Teacher's choice is really interesting. Junior apprentice brother Sun Yun, it seems teacher has really lost all faith in you." As for Wang Lin, after he stepped into the oval ring of light, his vision blurred and he appeared in a vast, white world. He couldn't see where this place ended, it was as if he was in space. Standing here caused a sense of loneliness to appear in his heart. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and that hint of loneliness in his heart disappeared. Interesting, this place could cause a change in my heart. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense like crazy in all directions. With his early-stage soul transformation divine sense, in a few moments everything within several tens of thousands of kilometers appeared in his mind. The first trial will test my Tao heart, Wang Lin pondered for a bit. Just at this moment, a blurry figure appeared before Wang Lin and began walking towards him step by step. Wang Lin looked over, but his body didn't move. The figure slowly got closer, revealing her beautiful face. She was Li Muwen. Li Muwen looked at Wang Lin and revealed a happy smile. She opened her mouth to say something, but Wang Lin wasn't able to hear a word. Shortly after, Li Muwen became anxious and walked a few steps closer. Wang Lin looked at Li Muwen and whispered, "Is this the first trial, an illusion formed from my Tao heart? This is not hard at all." Wang Lin let out a sigh, then he took one step and quickly moved next to Li Muwen. He grabbed hold of her waist and smiled. "Tao heart, Tao heart." Li Muwen revealed a faint smile and she disappeared along with Wang Lin. In the Heavenly Fate sect, under the bohi tree, the gentle-looking young man exclaimed and his eyes revealed a mysterious light. "Unless teacher was wrong, this person has great wisdom. Ordinary people only do two things for the first trial, they either calm themselves to avoid it all or try to break through by force. This person is indeed interesting, he decided to seek Tao. Interesting. This person's method is the same as junior apprentice brother Sun Yun's. However, junior apprentice brother Sun Yun lasted 67 days. I wonder how long he will be able to last." The gentle-looking man rubbed his chin and revealed an impossible-to-see-through smile. His gaze was calm, but there was a hint of a mysterious light that flashed across his eyes. The 3 trials of the Heavenly Fate sect were created by the All-Seer personally. He split open the void to create a special space for the 3 trials to take place. Only after passing the 3 trials can someone have the qualification of becoming a Heavenly Fate sect disciple. This was a rule set in stone, so no one could change this. At this moment, inside the human trial, there was a veil covering an entire area. At the center of this area lied a paradise-like place. This place was filled with flowers, birds, and willow trees. There were a few barks from dogs as well, but instead of breaking the tranquility, they were more like barks for waking someone from their sleep. This paradise was a village. Although there weren't many villagers, they all respected each other and got along very well. The third house from the northern end of the village had its own courtyard. Although humble, if anyone took a look at it, they would think it was very comfortable. There were a few spikes of golden hair-tail grass before the gate, showing that it was spring. There was a big pile of firewood inside the yard and nearby there were a few wooden chairs with a wooden table in the middle. On top of the table sat a teapot and some teacups. At this moment, an old man filled with wrinkles was sitting on the chair and drinking tea. Although this person's hair was all white, he didn't look old at all. After drinking the tea, he raised his head and looked into the house. Inside the house a young boy was holding a small knife and carving on a piece of red wood. The old man revealed a gentle smile. He was extremely tranquil as he looked at the boy. Shortly after, the boy's nose wrinkled, then he looked up at the old man and immediately ran up to him. He asked, with a tender voice, "Who are you exactly?" The old man put down the teacup, rubbed the boy's head, and smiled. I am who you say I am. The boy was about to speak, but just at this moment, a serious voice came from inside the house. Who's he? Don't bug your grandfather. Go back to carving. Along with the voice, a middle-aged man opened the curtain and walked out from the house. The boy didn't turn around, he let out a sigh before giving a deep glance at the old man. He then returned to the house and began to carve once more. However, there was deep doubt in his eyes. The man watched the boy for a bit, then he sat down next to the old man, poured the old man some tea, and said, "Dad, I'm going to go into the mountain tomorrow." The old man was still looking gently at the boy. After hearing the middle-aged man, he nodded and didn't say anything. "What are you going into the mountain for?" The voice of a woman came from the entrance. An old woman with a head full of white hair holding a basket of vegetables walked in. The middle-aged man quickly got up, accepted the basket, and said, "Mother, I heard from a Nyo from the east side of the village that there might be a tiger in the mountains. So we are going together with a few people to see if it's there. If we are lucky, we can get a tiger skin to make a new coat for father." The old woman opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something, but she looked at the old man still staring at his grandson before letting out a sigh and shaking her head in silence. The days passed day by day, but the middle-aged man still hadn't returned after he left. The old woman waited eagerly day and night, but what finally returned was an incomplete corpse. She passed out from grief and never awakened again. Now only the grandfather and grandson were left in this house. The boy was still learning how to carve and the old man was still watching from the side. On this day, the old man softly asked, "Did you finish learning how to carve?" The boy raised his head, calmly looked at the old man, and said, "I still haven't. Carving is too difficult, no matter what I do, I can't seem to learn it." The old man pondered a bit, then he let out a sigh and said, "How many times have you tried?" The boy raised his head, calmly looked at the old man, and said, "This is the 83rd time. The next time is not far off." The old man sighed. Still not willing to end it? The boy looked up at the sky. Shortly after, he shook his head and said, "Why must it end? This kind of life is pretty good besides the fact that I don't know who you are. You repeated this cycle countless times, and every time the things that happen are set, there will be no change. You knew that everyone who left wouldn't come back because you have experienced all of this countless times. Can you still not see through it? What exactly are you doing?" The old man raised the teacup and placed it next to his mouth, but he didn't drink. The boy withdrew his gaze, looked at the wood carving in his hand, and after a long time he said, "Is it time to end?" "No, it's not." Inside the Heavenly Fate sect, under the body tree, the gentle-looking man's expression became very serious. He stared at the emptiness before him and his eyes darkened. 83 days, this person is definitely not ordinary. Even junior apprentice brother Sun Yun only lasted 67 days. Although the 3 trials are a test, if one can gain enlightenment from them, then it is a heavenly opportunity. The 3 trials are things each person can only experience once in their lifetime, and Master spent a lot of effort to build them. This Wang Lin can last 83 days in the first trial, this person can't stay. His face became even gloomier and his expression was indecisive. Then his hands formed a seal and a rainbow-colored light appeared from his hands. "Future junior apprentice brother, let me help you." With that, he pointed forward and the rainbow-colored light disappeared into the distance. Inside the human trial, the boy was still carving when he suddenly raised his head. In the sky, a ray of rainbow-colored light appeared, releasing rays of blinding light. This ray of light was very aggressive. Wherever it shined, the paradise melted away like a hot iron was placed in snow. The fragrance of flowers no longer covered the area. The houses of the village all disappeared, turning into white smoke that slowly dissipated. The houses disappeared one by one under the light's glow until only the 3rd house from the northern end of the village remained. The boy's gaze revealed a mysterious light, then he stopped carving and suddenly waved the knife in his hand. A ray of silver light shot out into the rainbow-colored light in the sky. An earth-shattering sound came from the sky, then the shockwave knocked away all the haze surrounding the area. The rainbow-colored light began to flicker like a candle blown by the wind. But soon, the rainbow-colored light began to glow mysteriously and fuse back together. The rainbow-colored light turned into a pair of eyes that seemed like it could see through anything, and its gaze landed on the boy. The boy's eyes became cold, then he waved his right hand and all the pieces of wood in the yard flew into the air. The boy's hand quickly moved, sending out a massive amount of waves of silver light toward the wood shavings that had fallen to the ground. In an instant, carvings of the houses and villages appeared. The boy shook his hand again and all the carvings were lit up by a ghostly flame. The flame was small at first but quickly grew and began to spread. The villages, flowers, birds, and etc. all reappeared. This place once again returned to a paradise. I don't know who you are, but disappear now. Although the boy's voice was soft, it was filled with killing intent. The pair of eyes in the sky stared at the boy and shortly after disappeared. Under the body tree in the Heavenly Fate sect, the gentle-looking man's eyes lit up and he muttered to himself, "So that's how it is. This person's Tao is related to the reincarnation cycle. It's no wonder he was able to last 83 days. Every day he experiences one reincarnation cycle and thus increases his comprehension of the reincarnation cycle." Inside the human trial, the old man let out a sigh, stood up, looked at the boy, and softly said, "The 84th time is about to start. Do you still want to continue?" The boy lowered his head to look at the wood carving that he still hadn't managed to complete after 83 cycles. The carving was that of a woman. Let's continue. This is Tao seeking, and the true meaning behind the human trial. Deep inside the Heavenly Fate sect, the All-Seer had his eyes closed and was cultivating at the center of a black altar deep within the Heavenly Fate sect. He suddenly opened his eyes, revealed a satisfied smile, and said, "This child is very good." 10 days later, inside the paradise in the human trial, a person walked out. This was the first time the boy had walked out of the courtyard. On the first step he was still a boy, on the second step he was a teenager, and on the third step he turned into a young man. The young man's hair moved without any wind and he wore a snow-white robe as he walked out of the paradise step by step. In his hand he held a wood carving. In the end, the carving was completed. The carving was that of a woman, a gentle, beautiful, and fairy-like woman. Her mouth formed a smile as bright as the sun and her eyes exuded a happy expression. This young man was Wang Lin. Without at least 100 cycles, how could one seek Tao? Without at least 1,000 years of cultivation, how would one seek Tao from the heavens? This human trial is interesting. Wang Lin's eyes were peaceful right now. This trial made him undergo a mysterious change. However, he hid that change very well, so it was very hard to notice. His eyes were even clearer than before, like the starry sky. Wang Lin disappeared from the void and walked out of the human trial. The earth trial tests cultivation. Are you ready? Do you dare to enter? Why would I not dare? Wang Lin faintly smiled and raised his head. The location of the earth trial was a red world. Pillars of flame were shooting out from the ground and into the sky. Wang Lin stood still as he looked around, his expression remaining calm. This place tests cultivation, but I don't know in what way. Wang Lin stepped forward as he pondered. Just at this moment, from a crack not far away, a pillar of flame shot into the air. The fire turned into a fiery red figure in the sky. This person had a head full of red hair that moved without any wind. It looked like many tentacles moving. He had his arms folded before his chest and two ghostly lights appeared on his chaotic face. A cold voice came from the mouth of the fiery figure. I'm the Earth Trial's guardian. Defeat me and you may continue. Wang Lin calmly looked at the figure, then without a word he charged forward. His hands formed a seal and then he pushed his hand forward. A vast power suddenly appeared from within Wang Lin and gathered before him. Wang Lin softly said, "Break." His body glowed golden and the fiery figure's eyes suddenly lit up. The figure quickly backed up and moved his folded arms to block. With a bang, the sand was blown away, then cracks appeared on the earth and began to quickly spread across the ground. The fiery figure quickly backed away. Both of his hands were a bloody mess. After he stopped, he stared at Wang Lin with his fiery eyes. Wang Lin stopped and put his hand behind his back. He then looked at the figure and calmly said, "Stand down." The fiery figure pondered a bit and then bowed toward Wang Lin. He turned back into flame and disappeared into the ground. Wang Lin calmly looked into the distance. There would probably be more things like this that will test his cultivation. There must be someone in the Heavenly Fate sect spying on me from outside. Wang Lin let out a faint smile. Rather than keep going forward, he stepped back out. "I give up the Earth trial." With that, Wang Lin's figure disappeared from within the trial. At this moment, under the body tree, the gentle-looking man frowned and his eyes filled with uncertainty. This person sure was decisive in giving up. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use this opportunity to see the extent of his cultivation. However, no matter how powerful he is, an early-stage soul transformation cultivator is not much. In an instant, his eyes became clear, he no longer frowned, and a smile returned to his face. He didn't turn around but gently said, "Third junior apprentice brother, I haven't seen you in many days. Was your trip smooth?" With senior brother thinking of me, of course my trip was smooth. A feminine voice came from the distance. At the same time, a young man wearing white walked forward. After a few steps, he arrived under the body tree. This person was the young man Wang Lin met on the trade planet, Bai Wei. The gentle-looking man turned around to look at Bai Wei and smiled. "Third junior apprentice brother, did you find the gift for teacher's birthday?" Bai Wei casually looked into the void in the distance and smiled. "The gift I prepared is only a small toy that can't compare with what senior brother has prepared." "What's this?" After he spoke, Bai Wei's eyes became serious as he stared at the void. His eyes revealed a mysterious light. The gentle-looking man's heart trembled for a moment and he said, "This person is an honorary disciple that Master picked up on planet Suzaku. He arrived few months ago and is going through the 3 trials right now. He is currently on the 3rd trial." "It's him." Bai Wei's eyes lit up as he said, "So that's why." The gentle-looking man pretended to casually say, "Master arranged for him to live in the Purple Cloud Pavilion." "Purple Cloud Pavilion?" The mysterious light in Bai Wei's eyes disappeared and was replaced with coldness. After pondering for a while, he slowly said, "Senior brother, I still have important things to do, so I won't stay. Give me one of your 3,000-year 5-leaf grasses and I'll give you a fire crystal for it. How about it?" The gentle-looking man laughed and said, "That's fine. Just go to my cave and have the boy bring it for you." Bai Wei clasped his hands. After taking a deep gaze at the void, he disappeared. The friendly-looking man rubbed his chin and revealed a tired look as he thought, why did Master arrange for this person to stay at the Purple Cloud Pavilion? If he was assigned elsewhere, he would have a smoother path, but now he is thrown directly into the fire. The Heaven Trial tests one's domain. At this moment inside the Heaven Trial, Wang Lin was sitting in the lotus position with his eyes closed. He was thinking. After giving up the Earth trial, he entered here and began the trial here. He has been sitting here for 30 days now. In these 30 days of time, Wang Lin was constantly pondering the mysteries of the Heaven trial. When he was here he felt that his domain was closest to the heavens. When he was here he felt like he could touch the heavens by just raising his hand. Time slowly passed. Wang Lin has already forgotten about the concept of time. He just sat there motionless and the entire time he never brought out his domain. Wang Lin wasn't in a rush, so as he continued to sit there, he had a vague feeling that he had reached the boundary of something. Combining all the cycles and experiences he had been through, the word Tao slowly appeared inside his soul. This was the 51st day that Wang Lin spent been inside the Heaven trial. On this day, he opened his eyes and awakened from his cultivation. There was no light in his eyes, but there was a mysterious light flicking within him. He sat there thinking and then revealed a faint smile. The human, earth, and heaven trials are not tests but opportunities. If you understand them, then you understand them. If you gain enlightenment, then you gain enlightenment. So that's how it is. Wang Lin stretched his hands and stood up looking around. He let out a smile and said, "I give up the heaven trial." After saying that, The world around him became blurry as if it was spinning. It spun rapidly with Wang Lin at the center, and then everything around him disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin was still standing where he was before. Right now there was a person wearing purple in front of him. There was a gentle smile on his face as he looked at Wang Lin. Junior apprentice brother Wang Lin, I'm Zhao Xingsha. Among Master's first-generation disciples, I've been in the sect for the longest. You can call me eldest brother. Wang Lin looked at this person, then he clasped his hands and said, Wang Lin greets eldest brother. Zhao Xingsha faintly smiled, then he gestured his hand and said, Follow me, junior apprentice brother Wang Lin. Master has already arranged for you to live in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. With that, Zhao Xingsha led the way and Wang Lin followed. The two of them turned into two rays of light and went deep into the mountains. As they flew, Zhao Xingsha talked all the way, giving some detailed descriptions of the Heavenly Fate sect. This person was filled with humor and had a way with words. He was able to get the point across easily, and this allowed Wang Lin to have a simple understanding of the Heavenly Fate sect. Wang Lin asked, Eldest brother Zhao, how many disciples does Senior All-Seer have? Zhao Xingsha faintly smiled, then his right hand formed a seal and pointed before him. The clouds before them suddenly shattered, creating a passage. As he moved toward the passage, he laughed and said, Junior apprentice brother, Master has accepted a total of 7 disciples. We are split into red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. The two of us belong to the purple division. The purple division? Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Zhao Xingsha let out a sigh and said, Among the 7 divisions, our purple division is the weakest. Once you have been here for a while, you will naturally find out, so I won't say too much. After flying for a while through the mountains, a peak that went into the clouds appeared before them. There was a very luxurious tower on the mountain peak. This tower released a purple glow that lit up the surrounding area. The tower was like the source of all the purple in the world. Just looking at it would cause one's heart to tremble. Junior apprentice brother Wang Lin, follow me. Zhao Xingsha charged directly to the mountain top and Wang Lin closely followed. There were countless heavenly sect disciples cultivating on the top of the mountain and at the foot of the tower. Looking at them all, there were at least 10,000 people. At the back of the mountain were countless houses covering the entire mountain. There were disciples that were learning Tao, practicing techniques, or cultivating. With just one glance, Wang Lin calculated that there were at least 100,000 disciples here. This mountain was simply too large, especially the back mountain, which seemed endless. It was like a giant dragon was lying there. If one wasn't carefully, he would easily lose himself in this enormous sect. Zhao Xingsha clasped his hands and faintly smiled. This place is the purple division of the Heavenly Fate sect. Junior apprentice brother Wang Lin, to the west is where the Purple Cloud Pavilion lies. If you spread out your divine sense, you will find it. I still have important things to do, so I won't accompany you. Wang Lin nodded, clasped his hands at Zhao Xingsha, and flew toward the west like lightning. Zhao Xingsha's face still revealed a gentle smile without any change, but a mysterious light flashed across his eyes. As Wang Lin flew, he let out a cold snort. The first moment Wang Lin saw Zhao Xingsha, he recognized him as the person who tried to interrupt him in the human trial. However, Wang Lin's ability to scheme was deep, so he kept up a good poker face. Shortly after, Wang Lin spread out his divine sense and found a palace giving off a faint, purple aura. On the front of the palace were 3 large words, Purple Cloud Pavilion. This Heavenly Fate sect is simply too big. If just the Purple Division is already so large, I wonder how big the other 6 divisions are. The main sect must be even more unimaginable than this. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he landed before the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Just as he was about to take a step forward, he frowned and stared into the palace. He saw a person walk out from the Purple Cloud Pavilion. This person was a woman wearing a purple dress that was dotted by golden flowers. She had a cute and charming face, but right now it was filled with killing intent as she stared at Wang Lin. You can't enter here. This video will end here.